It's time for the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. Now, here's John Truman Wolfe.
Hi, folks. John Truman Wolfe here. Welcome to the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, coming to you from the beautiful Los Padres National Forest, north of Los Angeles. Gorgeous day here. Gorgeous and hot. I mean, it's hot up here in the mountains. And we're off to another Thursday. Some interesting developments in the financial markets, which we'll review now. The equities markets pretty dull, frankly. Dow Jones 34,577, off 23 points. The S&P 4192, off 15, and the Nasdaq 13,614, off 144. Equities have been trading, around that area, is kind of treading water. There was not a strong effect in the Dow Jones, surprisingly, to the announcement. There was very positive employment news today, which is the PR excuse for why gold took a major hit, down $37 to 1871. I think that's just a PR excuse. Gold had been doing very handsomely, inching up above 1900, which is kind of a big deal. Yesterday, I think it closed at 1909, memory serves me right, which was unique, new ground for gold over the past quite some time, and been into trading in the 1900s. People starting to get interested, and so those people that manipulate those markets slammed it down to make sure that traders didn't get too excited about it, in fact forced them to sell, and you have manipulators buying when that occurs. So gold 1871, off 37, silver 27.57, it closed at, off 72 cents. So it too, silver too, hammered both the precious metals down. But listen, they are charging at or pushing at breaking into new high ground. You've heard me say this before, I repeat it. The current trading range of gold and silver have basically been building a new base for a second leg up in what I consider to be a major bull market in precious metals. If you don't own any precious metals, you should get some. I'm a bigger fan of silver than gold, but I think precious metals are going to have a good 2021. All right, over to the cryptos. Bitcoin edging up now, getting out of the low 30s. It was up to 39,000. Closed last time I looked at it, 38,945, up 4% for the day. I think the real test is if it can break back over 40 and hang on there and then continue up. All right, we're going to come back and talk some more about the cryptos and some other hot news items when we come back. I'm John Truman Wolfe, and this is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, and we'll be right back.
When you invest, what do you need? Investors need foresight and prediction so they can invest with confidence. Is the stock market going up and down? What about precious metals or Bitcoin? The stock market may be treading water right now, but now may be a more opportune time to invest in precious metals. Are gold and silver booming? What do you buy? Bullion? Mining stocks? Which ones? The cryptocurrency market is also advancing strongly, but which ones do you buy? John Truman Wolfe, former banker and #1 best-selling author, gives you the answers in his widely read newsletter, Strategic Financial Intelligence, available at strategicfinancialintelligence.com. Wolfe called the breakout of the gold market and the breakout of the silver market. He may not have a crystal ball, but his investment picks tell a story. Metals and digital currencies are on the move. Don't miss out. Go to strategicfinancialintelligence.com and get the Strategic Financial Intelligence newsletter today. strategicfinancialintelligence.com.
All right, folks, we're back. John Truman Wolfe here. John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. We're the cryptos as we went to the break there. So Bitcoin, as I said, when I looked at it before the show, 38,945. And it's interesting on the cryptos, those of you that trade cryptos know this, I'm sure, but those of you that don't and are thinking about it, it's an interesting, I consider it benefit, because they trade 24/7. There's no stopping the trade in cryptocurrencies because people all over the world are investing in them. So, you can check it at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, what have you. So 38,945, as I said, it was at 39 a little bit earlier in the day. But I think an important breakout point for it to get back to where it had been would be 40. I think if it breaks 40, it'll run. Again, for those of you that follow, Bitcoin was as high as, I think, 64.5, almost 65,000. And then for the last, whatever it's been, month or so, has been hammered. It went down as low as, I don't know what the bottom was, maybe 31,000. I don't think it got into 30, but maybe. But that far down, I mean, that's 50% decrease. And it has been kind of climbing back up. Bitcoin's been hanging prior to today in the low 30s, 32, 33, 34, and back down 32, 33, 35. So now, basically 39,000. Key will be if it breaks 40 and holds there and continues up. In the long term, I don't think you go wrong investing in Bitcoin at this point because long term, I think the graph will continue up. Ethereum, 2842, up 6% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum has a similar story, although it held more strongly. But it got up kind of at the peak of this kind of the recent bull market top. It got up to about 4,500. And it was running towards 5,000, and all of a sudden this crypto setback occurred here over the last few weeks. And Ether went down to, I think, about 2,100. This is a big sell-off. Similar, because from 4,500 down to 2,100 change is more than a 50% decrease. But it has inched its way back up, kind of resisted. As Bitcoin fell a few days ago, it kind of held on and is now trading at 2832. Here again, you have an interesting, resistance point at, say, 3,000. I think the Ether is a terrific investment. I'm a big fan. RXP, Ripple, the trading symbol of which is RXP, is at $1.05. And full disclosure, I own Ripple. I also own Cardano, which I'm going to talk about in a minute because of what it's been doing. But RXP is interesting. Those of you that listen to the show know that I have kind of been following the Ripple story for some time, and the Ripple story meaning this: the token was trading around 25 cents for a couple of years, going back into last year, 25, 26 cents. And I remember getting it, I think, at 28 cents, right in there. And then it went up. It went up to 40 cents, 45 cents, 50 cents. Got up as high, I think, as 70 cents. And then it climbed further. I'm just trying to think if I'm looking at the graph in my head. But Ripple got up, handsomely over $1. And the SEC, somebody in the SEC's got it out for the people at Ripple, because earlier this year, the SEC was going to sue Ripple for being a security. And before that suit was filed, the president of Ripple issued his own press release going, hey, the SEC is going to sue us. It's fallacious, and documented how their suit was inappropriate. But they did sue. The stock went down. And then after the SEC sued, some of the major exchanges delisted Ripple. I've told this story before up to this point, but there's new developments. So they delisted it, meaning in many cases you couldn't buy it. There are places you can still buy Ripple, but Coinbase, for instance, the big one in the U.S., delisted it. But it has, pardon me, the currency has continued to move, and even in the face of the delisting, it went down and went all the way back down, I think, to the high 20s, and then it's just been clawing its way back up to 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. It has continued up, and the people at Ripple have continued. I say the people, the lawyers and the execs have continued victories in the suit with the SEC. There have been the one last week or the week before was that the SEC was seeking to get attorney-client privilege information from Ripple's attorneys to try and prove that Ripple had done, the Ripple execs had been violating SEC laws, and the court said no. And there was a prior victory before that, the specifics of which escapes me. But they had two good victories in court where Ripple beat the SEC in motions going back and forth. And the currency's been trading around $1. And so just recently, and I don't know what the day was, the last day or two, there's been a new development on that scene, and I'll tell you about it when we come back. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, and we're talking cryptocurrencies. We're talking specifically about Ripple, trading symbol RXP. And we'll finish that when we come back, because it's an interesting story, and this cryptocurrency is scrappy and is kicking the SEC's butt these days. Okay, I'm John Truman Wolfe. We'll be back right after this. Do stay with us.
For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Ka'anapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ka'anapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Kaanapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master plan destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Kaanapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Kaanapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit KaanapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill Medicare or your insurance directly. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. That's 800-633-1378.
Okay, folks, John Truman Wolfe here with the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. We're talking about the Ripple story. So the SEC has been doing everything they can to prove that the 2 senior execs at Ripple have violated securities laws, and so far they've been losing. They've been getting their hat handed to them in court, and I've got an article here. Let me see the date, because I think it was just what's the date of this news article? It doesn't say, but I think it was just today. And the headlines of this article: Ripple seeks docs from 15 offshore exchanges, it says could be fatal to the SEC's charges. So the story here is that the SEC has said the 2 senior guys at Ripple have, were selling shares of Ripple and violating SEC's laws. What the SEC laws, what the SEC failed to mention, because what it says in the SEC suit was that the Ripple execs were selling these securities all over the world, but the Ripple guys are going, no. There are 15 exchanges where we sold the Ripple. They're all outside the United States, and the SEC does not have jurisdiction there. And so it has sought to have the SEC pull records from these 15 foreign exchanges, which will show that that's where the Ripple execs sold the currency, and at least according to the law firm, the Ripple lawyers, that'll kill the SEC suit. I hope it does. I mean, it's a little tiring, and it gives one a sense of, no justice. You get these government agencies and the government lawyers and the government prosecutors. In many cases, they just grab hold of something like a dog with a bit, and they don't let go. Facts have got nothing to do with it. They see something as, that's a violation of the law, and they don't care about the facts. I had a situation like this. I'm not going to get into all the details, but I got accused of violating a regulation, and I thought it would be a simple handling. I went, no, here's what I said. And the other side went, they didn't care. The facts didn't matter. Just absolutely didn't matter. And of course, we see this, unfortunately, in, the U.S. Justice Department these days. I mean, the amount of faith that has been lost in the FBI and our Justice Department is jaw-dropping. And it's a shame, because there seems to be prosecutions for political agendas. Now, it's not to say that that's never been done before, but the degree to which the FBI went after President Trump and or those close to him, Michael Flynn, Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, it was disgusting, because these guys hadn't done anything. But when you've got the power of the federal government behind you, boy, look out. Roger Stone, I happen to have spoken to last, and maybe we'll talk about that in the show, because he's going to be doing some NFTs, some non-fungible tokens, with a partner of mine. But that's an aside. So, but he's talking. He said, 2 years of hell. The government wiped out his savings in legal fees. Finally came and forgave, commuted his, pardoned him. So back to Ripple, which is the point of the story. These guys have beat the SEC. They've got good lawyers, because they have won every one of these battles. And assuming, and this is an assumption, obviously no guarantee, that this thing gets settled. And clearly, if the motion is granted that enables the Ripple people to force the SEC to go to these foreign exchanges to prove that they didn't do anything wrong, the case will go away, one presumes. Meanwhile, Ripple is trading at a little over $1, and we'll talk about its future when we come back, because I think Ripple's got a lot of good stuff going for it. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, and we'll be right back.
Fred Dreyer here. Join me at the Ramp Bar and Grill in Burbank, California. Now open with indoor dining. Monday through Thursday, noon to 9, Friday, noon to 10, and Saturday, 4 to 10. Happy hour weekdays from 2 to 7 p.m. It's the home of the $5 margarita, by the way. Start with mouth-watering charbroiled chicken nachos. The best cheesy garlic bread in town, steamed clams and delicious soups and fresh salads. The best burgers in town. And steaks? Oh, you bet. Yum. Ribeye, filet, even prime rib. Italian specialties too. Ravioli, linguine, capellini, pomodoro, chicken parmesan, and a lot more. Save room for desserts too, including homemade cheesecake. It's the Ramp Bar and Grill, 7730 North Hollywood Way, minutes from Burbank Airport. Call 818-768-6499. Takeout and Postmates delivery too. Reserve your tables now. Call 818-768-6499.
When you really want Italian food, you have got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. Is that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you? Citizens, no need now to clamor for culinary gustatorial delights. Dreams do come true. Columbo's has triumphantly reopened its golden doors to feed the famished and soothe the savage beast. Bask in the delights of Columbo's succulent steaks, Neptune's superior offerings from the seven seas, Columbo's family Italian specialties, and of course their world-famous meatballs, and it's all so affordable. Yes, Columbo's, the ninth wonder of the world, the Southern California pantheon dedicated to unrivaled and unparalleled yum-yum. Columbo's, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's, mangia bene.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
When you invest, what do you need? Investors need foresight and prediction so they can invest with confidence. Is the stock market going up and down? What about precious metals or Bitcoin? The stock market may be treading water right now, but now may be a more opportune time to invest in precious metals. Are gold and silver booming? What do you buy? Bullion? Mining stocks? Which ones? The cryptocurrency market is also advancing strongly, but which ones do you buy? John Truman Wolfe, former banker and #1 best-selling author, gives you the answers in his widely read newsletter, Strategic Financial Intelligence, available at strategicfinancialintelligence.com. Wolfe called the breakout of the gold market and the breakout of the silver market. He may not have a crystal ball, but his investment picks tell a story. Metals and digital currencies are on the move. Don't miss out. Go to strategicfinancialintelligence.com and get the Strategic Financial Intelligence newsletter today. strategicfinancialintelligence.com.
And we are back. John Truman Wolfe here, the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. And as we were cutting away, I'm talking a lot about Ripple and the court case that they've been involved in with the SEC. So bottom line is Ripple's currently trading at $1.05, at least last I looked at it. And it's got I think it's got a great product and service. Having been a former banker, this appeals to me particularly. But they provide a service that enables banks, international banks, to trade and send funds back and forth, in the blink of an eye, bypassing the SWIFT wiring, operation, and that's going away. I mean, the blockchain and what's called DeFi, decentralized finance, will replace the SWIFT system. There's no reason for a bank in Argentina to have to send money. If they're sending money to somebody in the United States, they send it to New York, and then people in New York send it to the local bank, and blah, 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 blah. It's a long process. With Ripple's system, it's like boom, boom, boom. They've got 210 international banking clients. They provide a great service. And I think once this lawsuit gets settled, I think the currency will increase. I repeat, I don't want to keep beating this to death. I own some of this. It's very difficult to buy now. If you were looking to buy some, I don't know what exchange you go to, but you'd have to go to one, probably outside the U.S. But you can get Ripple. I just don't know exactly where. But I think it's a good buy. At $1, I think it's a good buy. The other crypto I was going to talk about, which I also own, but I follow it and I get these stories and I like to talk about them. And, you know, I think they're, I think they're obviously valuable. It's Cardano, the trading symbol is ADA. And it's now up to $1.84. And I can't remember what I bought it for. I think, somewhere around a quarter, 25, 30 cents, something like that, back several months ago. Certainly hasn't been a year. Maybe it's been 6 months. I'm not sure exactly when, but some months. And Cardano is in some ways a competitor to Ethereum. Well, both of these companies provide blockchain services that people need and use, and will continue to do so in growing numbers. There was a study. I don't think I covered it in the last week. I may have, but which shows the growing awareness and then participation in cryptos by the general public. You can, it's a graph, and it's just, slowly moving up as people hear about Bitcoin. They go, what is that? I talked to a friend of mine yesterday. Well, yes, I've heard of it, and we tried to look at it, but we don't really understand it. It's too complicated, blah, blah, blah. And if that's the case, by the way, folks, and you think cryptos are, complicated, subscribe to my newsletter, because I go over this stuff in plain English. strategicfinancialintelligence.com, strategicfinancialintelligence.com. I follow this stuff closely, and I repeat, I communicate about it in plain English. Relative to the point I was making, more and more people are becoming interested and learning about cryptos, whether it's Bitcoin or others. And as they learn about it, more and more people get involved in it, more and more people seek to buy it. And they probably, to be safe, will buy some of the coin that they have heard of, which is Bitcoin. But slowly, as you learn about other cryptos and what they're doing, altcoins like Cardano, and again, an altcoin by definition is some crypto other than Bitcoin. And Cardano has done great, and I think it's going to continue to do well. So that's a little story on the cryptos this week. I want to touch base. I want to kind of jump subjects a little bit and talk about the precious metals markets, because they were, as I said a little earlier in the show, they were doing really, really well. Then they got hammered. Gold off almost $40 today. And the so-called reason for that was because the unemployment numbers were strong, which, means no inflation, yada, yada, yada. But there's an interesting article that I'm reading the headlines now, Russia's wealth fund to ditch all U.S. dollar assets for gold, euros, and the yuan this month. So there is $40 billion worth of U.S. assets that they hold. They're getting rid of it. And they're going to buy yuan, the Chinese currency, euros, and gold. The acquisition of gold by Russia and China continues to be strong. Why this is important is that it's an indication that the U.S. dollar very gradiently and slowly, but there's a graph you can see that shows that the U.S. dollar is slowly ceasing to be the global financial currency, the world's reserve currency, as other countries like Russia, like China, like India, like South Africa, like Brazil, start trading in international trading in currencies other than the dollar's value decreases. If the dollar ceases to become the global reserve currency, there will be inflation, and your dollars will be worth less. It will take more of them to buy foreign goods. It's a big deal in the broader sense of what's happening to the U.S. dollar planet-wide. We're going to come back and talk a little bit more about that when we come back very shortly. Stay with us, and I'm John Truman Wolfe. We'll be right back.
Now it's time for MedVed's Entertainment Minute.
Maybe you haven't noticed, but the craft beer industry has become a powerhouse. And there's a wonderful new documentary about this fascinating subculture that should appeal even to those who don't think they love beer. It's called Brewmance, now available for rent on multiple streaming services. Cheers.
Take home brew, you put yourself into it, your personality, your love.
Having a passion for what you do, that's what carries you through.
And what carries this movie through is a focus on two brewery startups. One of them a Christian father and son operation, and the other put together by three dropouts from the music industry. In addition, there's perspective from creators of some of the most famous craft beers out there. Altogether, filmmaker Christo Brock has brewed up an entertainment that's informative, even inspiring, about faith, family, and the entrepreneurial spirit. Even if you take just a sip, you'll want to drink deep. 3 stars for Brewmance.
Attention real estate investors. Do you need cash immediately? If you own one or multiple rental properties, you can use your equity to get cash out fast. The best part is we don't need tax returns or even a good credit score. At America's Loan Source, we are not a bank and we don't have bank rules. We make the decisions to loan you money, and there's no limit how much we can give you. Some clients have gotten as much as $500,000 or more within days. Use the money any way you want. If you own one rental property or 100 and COVID has left you in a cash crunch, we can help you turn your equity into fast cash. Call now for details and close in as little as 10 days and get the cash you need. 800-353-1760. 800-353-1760. 800-353-1760. That's 800-353-1760.
And we're back. John Truman Wolfe here with the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. As we broke there, I was just trying to make the point, reading the story about how Russia was going to get rid of all its dollar-denominated assets and replace them with gold, euros, and yuan. Yuan, the Chinese currency. And this is just evidence of a further decline in the dollar as the world's reserve currency. It's under assault and has been, and this is not good news for the American economy. It's not a huge in the global, the global measurement of things. It's not a huge number, 40 billion, but it is an indicator. It's probably political. Putin is going to talk to Biden in a couple of weeks in Geneva. So he's probably saying, we don't need your currency. At any rate, something to be aware of, keep your eye on. Going back to cryptos and Bitcoin in particular, I noticed a cool story about Hungary, and they are putting up a statue to Satoshi. And for those of you not common to cryptos, Satoshi Nakamoto is the name of the person who created Bitcoin and the technology that enables it to be transferred around the planet called blockchain. I think this is cool. Here's the press release. Bitcoin's anonymous creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, is set to be depicted in a life-size bronze statue in Budapest, the capital city of Hungary. And if folks of you who are new, you folks who knew that Bitcoin, Satoshi is not the real name of the person who invented Bitcoin. Nobody seems to know. The guy just disappeared. He kind of rolled up his hat and he split, and nobody knows who he is or was. But anyway, the people in Hungary are going to put up a statue to him. According to local news outlet, Hungary Today, that's a news outlet, I see, sculptures Rika Gergely and Tomas Gilly are designing the statue and have unveiled initial plans depicting a figure of a man with a featureless face wearing a Bitcoin hoodie. And this, by the way, this is going up in a plaza where there already resides a statue of Steve Jobs. So we've got Steve Jobs, who was a real person, and Satoshi, who was also a real person, just with a different name. Hungary appears to be warming to crypto across the board after the government revealed plans on May 11th to cut taxes on crypto trading from 30% down to 15% as part of an economic recovery program post-pandemic. That's cool. That's cool. I have friends in Hungary. These are very entrepreneurial, hustling people. These guys get things done. I mean, they get things done. We even have Ron Paul, the famous, or I was going to say famous, or if you're on the left side of the political fence, infamous, a congressman from Texas, the strong voice for liberty, the father of Rand Paul, who, in my opinion, is perhaps the best senator in the U.S. Senate. The guy that has his integrity, says what he thinks, is not influenced by the left-wing press or any press other than his own. He has his own point of view, and he says it, and he's not afraid to say it, and he's not a warp. I had this friend of mine who coined the word warp, wind-oriented relay point, a warp. Rand Paul is not a warp. He does not blow with the wind. And his dad, Ron Paul, whose office I had the pleasure of working with some years ago when he was in Congress, is a great guy. He's the only guy that ever got any kind of audit done of the Fed. He long called for abolishment of the Fed, but during the financial crisis, I think it was December 2008, I think that was the date, he called for an audit of the Fed, and because the financial situation in the country was so dire, the Congress agreed. So Ron Paul, and I think his co-sponsor on that was Barney Frank, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, they got an audit done of the Fed, which showed that the Fed was just gushing billions and trillions of dollars out to other people around the world, other banks, other central banks. It's disgusting to me that there's some private entity that controls the nation's economy with their control of interest rates and injecting money into the economy or pulling it out. I think if we're going to, do that, we should do what the Constitution says. Congress should print them. That's a touchy subject which we'll discuss when we come back. I'm Bruce Wiseman. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Clay's Cleaning Service has a spotless reputation.
Take care of the windows. Hello, this is Clay.
But his business operations could use a light dusting.
I had you scheduled for next week. I'll just check here. No, absolutely. We will be there tomorrow.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's been tough talking to my doctor about constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. I finally laid all my symptoms out there and how they keep coming back. She said I may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. We agreed it's time to try something different.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Visit a doctor in person or online. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
All right, folks, we're back. John Truman Wolfe here. Final segment of the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. I was talking about former Congressman Ron Paul, who has come out and basically said, we should recognize that Bitcoin is money. It should be treated as money. He wasn't even so much in recommending it as investment. Ron Paul's a libertarian, and he's just like, if that's what people want to use for exchange, that's what should be used for exchange. I thought it was cool. He's speaking at some conference, I think, in Florida, and came out with that point of view. He's a clean thinking guy. By clean thinking, I mean his thinking isn't all muddled up with some of the stuff that muddles people's thinking these days. And the last subject I wanted to cover, which I'm covering in my newsletter, and again, I recommend the newsletter. One, because I like writing it, and I like having subscribers, and two, because it educates people, is on NFTs, non-fungible tokens. I talked to a friend of mine yesterday who's a really creative guy, artist and musician, and so forth. He'd never heard, he'd heard of it, but had no idea what it was. He's a perfect candidate to put NFTs up, meaning basically digital art, whether in the form of paintings or music or videos or whatever. There's an article I read yesterday that shows that the traffic on NFTs has decreased The first quarter of this year, it was NFTs were booming, and it settled down a little bit, which is not a surprise. It's not going away. NFTs are not going away. I think some of the high-profile publicity from Mark Cuban, from Tom Brady, from Ashton Kutcher, Snoop Dogg, these are all people involved in NFT, putting up NFT sites, attracted a lot of interest in it, but it'll continue. It's again, I repeat, it's a good reason to subscribe to the newsletter, because last month's article was on, May's article was on NFT, just the general subject of NFTs, and this month I'm going to write an article on how you put an NFT up, how you put a non-fungible token of some digital art up, and you can get people buy them, and you can generate income. I think it's a great thing for artists who can get their art out there and have people look at it, and ideally get compensated for it. This is going to continue to boom. I think I said earlier in the show, and I'll be announcing it when we get a date, but a friend of mine is putting some NFTs up for Roger Stone, the Trump consigliere, so that's political art. These are collectibles. I've said this before, but it's an important reason as to why NFTs are going to grow, is that the collectible market is $337 billion, and people like athletes and entertainment celebrities and so forth lose 30% of the revenue, the collectible revenue, to fraud, and NFTs is a solution to that. It's a good way for artists to get, as I say, get their art out and to make some revenue. It's also a good reason to subscribe to Strategic Financial Intelligence, strategicfinancialintelligence.com. I'm John Truman Wolfe. I'll see you next Thursday, 4 p.m. LA time.